Hi guys, if you want to become a better striker, then watch this video. In this situation, you can shoot many different ways. A striker, you still have to defend, you still have to work for the team. We are going to analyze 3 scenes and I'm going to give you 5 tips to become a better striker. Let's get started. Okay, so here we got my goal against Hamburg. It was a really good goal for many different reasons. I think this shows, a lot of different aspects to being a striker. I think first of all, we just pulled it there, just come back a tiny bit. Obviously being a striker, you still have to defend, you still have to work for the team. Part of my job is to help out, especially when the team breaks. So as you can see, me on the edge of the box here, as this ball kind of gets cleared, and another important part, it's hard to see on here, but you see me scan a little bit just to see how much time I've got, because scanning again is a really important part. Not always just at this part of the pitch, but when you're higher up in the final third as well. So just let that play. Obviously, good touch. Know I've got a bit of space, play it out to Lucho. And then just this bit here, I think it's really important, especially when you're on the counter-attack, is beating your man, being willing to, just put that effort in early. You see if I just slow it there, I kind of have a little tussle with my midfielder or defender, and I just get that space, that half yard, probably yard in front of him. Lucho plays another great ball. And then from here, obviously I'm playing out to Michael. Passing's a big part of my game, but passing to the wingers, sometimes here Michael will be good enough to go 1v1 and beat his defender, and you might get an assist, but as I play it to him, I think you see me just wait a little bit, you see me hold my run. I just kind of give a little point there to Michael. You see that little kind of hand gesture to say to Mike, look, I'm here, I've got half a yard. Mike plays a good ball in. And now it's probably the most important part about being a striker is the touch and the finish. I back myself to finish a lot of chances, and I'm seen as a good finisher, but the touch is the most important part of this action, because if I don't get this first touch right there, then I don't get the shot away. The defender tackles me, he blocks the shot. So that touch there, just to take me into that kind of, gives me a yard of finishing. And then, from here, I back myself to score most goals. It allows me to have the opportunity to go this way, or the way I end up going to the front post, which for the keeper is, almost impossible to judge. So, the strike is good enough. It wasn't perfect, but good enough. And then you see it kind of just sneaks past into that front post. So, it was a pretty good goal, as all parts of the game. So here we have an assist I done against Manchester United away. It was a nice assist. As you see here, I'm just kind of getting into a position, maybe to hold the ball up. As the ball kind of comes back, I'm just kind of hovering, I'm just holding my position just to see how the play develops. Sometimes the ball might go wide, and if I'm behind the defender, it gives me a yard in front of him to then attack the box. So I'm kind of just waiting to see how it develops. As you see here, it kind of comes, gets a little bit lucky with the ricochet. Obviously, you just have to kind of be alert. From a defender's point of view, he's actually marking me pretty well there, but I feel like my reaction is just a little bit better. And then as it comes, I just see King at the corner of my eye, and I know, I can't play it to his feet because the defender's obviously blocking it. So if I can just kind of use the outside of my foot into this gap, and I want him to finish it first time if possible. I think whenever you're trying to assist someone in the box, you want to try and put a good enough ball where they can shoot first time, because you don't always have the time. But as you see here, he's got a little bit more time to take the touch, and a really composed finish by King. So it was a nice goal, and it was a winning goal as well, which is always important. Okay, so the third one, my goal against Frankfurt away this season. One of my favourite goals in my career, actually, for different reasons. Obviously, you see here, I'm kind of just in a number 9 position to begin with. As the play develops, I kind of drop a little bit deeper, just to create a little bit of space. The system we play, and especially the way I like to play, is to maybe drag defenders out of their position. You see, kind of here, I start to see the space opening up. Yeah, kind of 1 or 2 passes before it actually happens. I think it's important to see a picture in your head. As it comes to Josh, I kind of come into that number 10 space. So Josh could probably play me here if he sees me, but he sees a better pass, a more forward-thinking pass. So as it kind of gets played into Lucho here, I find myself, a good distance away from the centre back. Sometimes Lucho will maybe go 1v1, and I'm more maybe like a midfielder here. But as his kind of touch opens up, I know if he plays that ball to me here, I can maybe shoot first time. In the end, he just plays it a little bit here. So anywhere in this kind of position, when there's not too many defenders in the way, I'm looking to get a touch off and shoot. And I back myself to definitely hit the target. So as Lucho plays it there, the touch is perfect. And I had, in this situation, you can shoot many different ways. You can power, you can curve it, you can go straight at the keeper, hoping to maybe put a bit of swerve on it. But this is a finish that I've worked on quite a lot, to kind of use the defender as a block for their keeper, and then to use the curve of the ball to almost make it impossible for the keeper to save it. So you see me just cut across it, almost like a pass, I'm drilling like a low pass, driven pass. But from that far out, with the power that I have, I know it can be difficult. So there might be another angle which really shows it from behind and getting that spin. But even here, you kind of move into that space, just drift, and then from here, I know that defender's coming, and I just use that gap to kind of come into that curve. You see here, compared to the room I have on the front post. Sometimes I like to go front post, but here you see the keeper's maybe 2 steps across, and I know if I can cut it, it'll be difficult for him, and that's exactly what happened. So the 5 tips, I would say, I think number 1 would probably be scanning, both kind of in and around your own box when you're defending, making sure you don't get caught on the ball because it can be dangerous. But also in the final third, when you're kind of dropping into those pockets, playing in the number 10 position, scanning to see how much space you've got. Am I going to have to play one touch? Can I have a touch and finish? All these things are really important. So that's number 1. Number 2 is positioning. As I explained a little bit there's times where it's important to stay high as a number 9, maybe mate runs in behind, maybe get into the box from crosses and be that focal point for the team. But also there's times you have to move the defenders, you have to put them in positions they don't want to be, drag them maybe a little bit deeper into that number 10 spot, and then they have a decision to come with you or to stay. And if they don't come with you, you have time to turn, play the ball, arrive into the box after. Number 3 would be first touch. I talk a lot before the finish. The first touch is so important because it allows you to go either side of the keeper. It gives you that extra bit of time to get your shot off. I think at the highest level, if you don't get your first touch right, more often than not, the defender's gonna block it, or you're gonna get tackled. Number 4, I think, is finishing. You've got to be able to finish well. You've got to be able to take your chances. In big games especially, you don't get a lot of chances, so being clinical in those moments and backing yourself, I think, is really important. You can practice that. You can work a lot on the training field to be a better finisher, like I did. And then last, number 5, I think defensive work. It's probably an aspect that people don't really talk about when you're a striker, but especially the way we play, the way we press. The press starts with us. It starts with me, the striker, at the top. And also on the transition, you've got to be there to help your team, whether it's second balls or picking up the ball on the edge of the box. So those 5 things are really important to becoming a top striker. So if you watch this video before every game you play, I guarantee you'll become a better striker. Let me know in the comments about your success, and go out there, get on the pitch and score some goals.